Hello! We're excited to show you our native speech capabilities. Welcome back to the English journey. Today, we want to help you take control of your calendar and your energy. We are talking about the Power Day. I'm Anna.
And I'm Abel. I used to wake up feeling like I was already behind, but then I learned how to build a power day. Today we will give you the English words to do the same.
And this is a slow English podcast, so we speak slowly and clearly. This is perfect for English learners at every level. If you want to improve your listening, your vocabulary, and your confidence in English conversation, you are in exactly the right place.
Yes, exactly. And today's topic is something that will help you in English and in your real life. We are talking about how to have a powerful, productive, and energizing day. A day where you get things done and still feel good at the end.
So let us start with a simple question. What is a power day? Abel, when you first heard this phrase, what did you think it meant?
Honestly, Anna, when I first heard the words power day, I thought it meant working really hard. Like maybe I need to wake up at 4 in the morning and work for 12 hours and drink 10 cups of coffee. I thought power meant doing more, more.
Oh, that is such a common mistake, and I think a lot of people feel this way. They think being productive means being busy all the time. They think if they are not busy, they are not working hard enough.
Right, and that thinking made me exhausted. I was always busy but never satisfied. I would finish a day and think, what did I actually do today? I was tired, but I did not feel like I achieved anything important.
And this is exactly why the idea of a power day is so important. A power day is not about working more hours. It's about working smarter. It's about using your best energy at the best time. It's about feeling strong, focused, and positive throughout the whole day.
I love that. Working smarter, not harder. This is a very popular English expression, and it is absolutely true when we talk about the power day.
So let us define the power day very clearly. A power day is a day where you plan your activities according to your natural energy levels. You do your most important work when your brain is at its strongest. You rest when your body needs rest. And you end the day feeling satisfied, not destroyed.
Not destroyed. I love that, because before I learned about the power day, I felt destroyed every single evening. I was sitting on my sofa and I couldn't even watch a movie because I was too tired to focus.
That is the feeling of a day with no power, and we want to change that for you, our wonderful listeners. So we're going to walk through the entire day together, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, and we will give you simple, practical steps and the English vocabulary to describe them.
And we will explain some important English words along the way, words related to energy, productivity, and focus. These are words that you can use in conversation, in your job, and in your studies.
Perfect. So let us begin with the morning. Abel, let us talk about the first 90 minutes of the day. Why are they so important?
Okay, so I used to wake up and immediately pick up my phone. And I know, so many people do this. You open your eyes and the first thing you do is scroll through social media or check your messages. And at the time, I thought this was totally normal.
And it is very common. But here's the problem. When you pick up your phone immediately in the morning, you're starting your day in reaction mode. Reaction mode means you are responding to other people's ideas, other people's problems, and other people's energy. You are not starting from your own center.
Exactly. And there is a beautiful English word for this. The word is intention. Your intention is your plan, your purpose, your reason for doing something. When you start the day with your phone, you have no intention. You're just reacting.
But when you start your day with intention, everything changes. You decide what is important to you. You decide what kind of day you want to have, and you protect that decision in the first 90 minutes.
So what should you do instead of picking up your phone? Anna, what do you do in the first 90 minutes of your day?
Great question. So the very first thing I do is I get some sunlight. I open the curtains or I go outside even for 5 minutes. And this might sound very simple, but there's real science behind it. Sunlight in the morning sends a signal to your brain that says, wake up, the day has started. It helps your body produce something called cortisol, which is your natural wake-up hormone. It helps you feel alert and ready.
And before I learned this, I used to stay in a dark room in the morning and then wonder why I felt sleepy until 11 o'clock. And now it makes total sense. Your body needs a signal. Sunlight is that signal.
Exactly. So, step one of your power day is to get sunlight in the morning. Even on a cloudy day, the natural light is much better than staying inside with artificial light.
Then after the sunlight, we talk about movement. And movement does not have to mean going to the gym for 1 hour. It can be 10 minutes of stretching, a short walk, some simple exercises at home.
Movement is so important because it gets your blood flowing, it wakes up your muscles, and very importantly, it helps your brain produce something called dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical in your brain that makes you feel motivated and positive.
So movement in the morning is not just good for your body, it's good for your brain and your mood.
And I noticed this very quickly when I started adding movement to my morning. Even just 10 minutes of walking made me feel so different. I felt like I had momentum going into my day.
Ah, momentum. This is such a great word. Let's talk about this. Momentum is like the energy of movement that keeps going. Imagine a ball rolling down a hill. Once it starts rolling, it keeps going faster and faster. That's momentum. When you do small positive actions in the morning, you build momentum for the rest of your day.
And I love this because it means you don't need to do something huge in the morning. You just need to start moving. Start with something small. The momentum will carry you forward.
Perfectly said. So in the first 90 minutes, we have sunlight, we have movement, and then we have what I call the deep work block. Deep work is a concept from a very famous book by Cal Newport, and it simply means doing your most important, most mentally demanding work with complete focus.
And complete focus means no phone, no social media, no interruptions. Just you and your most important task. And this is why the first 90 minutes of the day are so powerful. Your brain is fresh. You haven't yet been bombarded by emails and messages and news and other people's problems. Your mind is clear and ready.
So during your deep work block, you choose one important thing to work on. Just one. Not 5 things, not a whole list, one meaningful task. And you work on it with complete attention for maybe 45 to 90 minutes.
And this single habit, this one deep work block in the morning, can change everything because most people spend their entire day on small, easy tasks, answering messages, scrolling through feeds, doing little jobs that feel productive but aren't really moving their life forward.
I did this for years. I would answer 50 emails and feel busy, but none of those emails were moving me toward my real goals.
Yes, and we call these low-energy tasks. They are easy to do, but they don't require your best thinking. They don't require your peak performance. And this brings us to our next big section, the peak period.
Okay, so peak performance. This is a great phrase. Peak means the highest point, the top of a mountain. Peak performance means when you're operating at your absolute best. Your brain is sharpest, your focus is clearest, and you can do your best work.
And here is the beautiful thing about peak performance. It's not random. Your brain has a natural rhythm throughout the day. Scientists call this your circadian rhythm, but you don't need to remember that word. What you need to know is that for most people, the brain is at its strongest and most focused in the late morning, somewhere between 9 and noon.
And this information changed my life, because before I knew this, I was using my best morning brain time to check social media and answer easy messages. And then when my brain got tired in the afternoon, I was trying to do my most important creative work, and it was so hard and slow.
It's like trying to run a race when you're already tired. You can do it, but it's so much harder than running at the beginning when you're fresh and strong.
So the lesson is to protect your peak time. Use your best brain time for your best work. This is one of the most important lessons of the Power Day.
And protecting your peak time means saying no to distractions. A distraction is anything that pulls your attention away from what you are doing. Your phone is the biggest distraction in modern life. Every notification, every message, every alert is a small interruption, and each interruption breaks your focus.
And research shows that after an interruption, it takes about 20 minutes for your brain to fully return to deep focus. So if your phone interrupts you 6 times in 1 hour, you are never actually doing deep work. You are just pretending to work.
Oh, that is so true and so painful to hear, but it is real. So during your peak period, your phone should be in another room or on silent or turned face down. You choose, but the goal is zero interruptions.
And I want to say something to our listeners here. I know this sounds very difficult. I know your phone feels important, but try it for just one day. Put your phone away for 90 minutes in the morning and see how much you accomplish. I promise you will be amazed.
I completely agree. And let us now talk about something that surprises many people. We are going to talk about resting strategically. And I want to say this very clearly. Resting is not lazy. Resting is productive.
Oh, I love this topic because I used to feel guilty about taking breaks. I thought if I stop working, I am being lazy. I'm wasting time. I need to push through and keep going.
And this thinking is actually very harmful. Your brain is a biological organ. It is like a muscle, and every muscle needs rest to recover and perform well. If you lift weights at the gym for 8 hours without stopping, you will hurt yourself. The same is true for your brain.
And there is a beautiful solution here. It's called the power nap. A power nap is a very short sleep, usually between 10 and 20 minutes. And research shows that a 10 to 20-minute nap in the early afternoon can dramatically improve your focus, your creativity, and your mood for the rest of the day.
The key word here is dramatically. Dramatically means by a large amount, not a little bit, a lot. So a short nap can dramatically improve your afternoon performance.
And if you cannot take a nap, that is completely fine. A 10-minute walk outside is almost as good. When you walk, your brain gets a break from focused thinking, and this break actually helps your brain make new connections and come up with creative ideas.
This is why so many great thinkers throughout history loved to walk. People like Charles Darwin, Albert Einstein, and Steve Jobs were all known for taking long walks, not because they were bored, but because walking helped them think better.
So a walk is not a distraction from your work. A walk is part of your work. A walk is restoration. Restoration means the process of getting your energy back, of renewing yourself.
Restoration is such a beautiful word, and it is the opposite of depletion. Depletion means when your energy is used up, when your resources are empty. A power day avoids depletion. A power day includes moments of restoration throughout the whole day.
And this brings us to one of the most important ideas in our whole conversation today, and that is the difference between time management and energy management.
Oh yes, this is so important. Most people have heard of time management. Time management means organizing your schedule, making a calendar, planning your tasks. And time management is useful, but alone it is not enough.
Because time management treats all hours as equal. It says, I have 24 hours in a day. Let me fill them with tasks. But here's the truth. Not all hours are equal. 1 hour when you are fresh and focused is worth 4 or 5 hours when you are tired and distracted.
Exactly. And energy management is different. Energy management asks a different question. The question is not, how much time do I have? The question is, how much energy do I have? And when is my energy at its highest?
This changed everything for me. I stopped asking, how can I fit more into my schedule? And I started asking, when do I feel most powerful, most creative, most focused? And how can I protect that time for my most important work?
And when you manage your energy well, you actually get more done in less time. You're not working more hours. You are working more effectively. You are working in a state of flow.
Flow state. This is an incredible English phrase. A flow state is when you are completely absorbed in what you are doing. Time seems to disappear. You are not struggling. You are not forcing it. Everything just feels natural and easy and fast. Athletes call it being in the zone.
Have you ever been in a flow state, Abel?
Yes, when I'm in a flow state, I can write or create or think for 2 hours and it feels like 20 minutes. And the work I produce in that state is so much better than work I force out when I'm tired and distracted.
Flow states are not magic. You can create the conditions for a flow state. The conditions are high energy, a clear task, no distractions, and enough time to warm up your focus. This is why the morning routine matters so much. When you prepare your mind and body well, flow states become much easier to reach.
And now I want to connect all of this to English learning because our listeners are here to improve their English. And the Power Day applies perfectly to English study as well.
Absolutely. And this is one of my favorite parts of today's conversation because I speak to so many English learners who say, I study for 3 hours every day, but I'm not making progress. And I always ask them, when do you study and how do you feel when you study?
And usually the answer is, I study late at night after work when I'm already tired, and I study while watching TV or with my phone next to me.
And there's your problem. You cannot absorb a language efficiently when your brain is exhausted and your attention is divided. Language learning requires your active, engaged brain. It requires focus, repetition, and connection.
So the solution is to build what Anna calls a power hour for English. A power hour is one dedicated hour of English practice during your peak energy time.
Yes, and during your power hour, you have no distractions. Your phone is away, you are fully present with English. And what do you do during this hour? You mix different types of practice. You listen to English, like you are doing right now. You speak out loud, even if you are alone. You read English text. You write a few sentences in English, and you review new vocabulary.
And the key is consistency. Consistency means doing something regularly, every day or most days. One focused hour of English every day is much more powerful than 5 scattered, distracted hours on one weekend day.
Consistency plus high energy equals rapid progress. And this is true for any skill, not just English. But English learners see this very clearly because language learning requires your brain to form new patterns. And your brain forms patterns best when it is alert, rested, and focused.
So when you think about your power day, add your English power hour to your schedule. Put it during your peak time if possible. Or find a time in the day when you feel good, not exhausted, and protect that time like it is the most important appointment of your day.
Because it is. Your English growth is important, your personal development is important, and treating it as important by giving it your good energy and your full attention will make a real difference in your progress.
And I want to mention one more thing about English and the Power Day. When you feel good, you are also more confident speaking English. Have you ever noticed that when you are tired or stressed, you make more mistakes? Your vocabulary disappears, your grammar gets confused?
Oh, absolutely. This is very real. When you are tired, your brain cannot access the language as quickly. But when you are well-rested, well-nourished, and in a positive state, your English flows much more naturally.
So taking care of your energy is also taking care of your English. These things are connected. A Power Day is an English learning day.
I love that. Now let us talk about the evening, because the Power Day does not end when your work stops. The evening is actually preparation for tomorrow's Power Day. How you end your day determines how you begin the next one.
And I used to have terrible evening habits. I would work until 10 or 11 o'clock at night because I felt like I had not done enough during the day. And then I would watch videos on my phone until 1 in the morning. And then I would sleep badly and wake up feeling terrible.
And this cycle is so common, and it completely destroys the next day's potential. So how do we break this cycle? How do we end the day with intention?
The first thing I changed was creating what I call a shutdown ritual. A ritual is a sequence of actions that you do in a specific order, like a ceremony. My shutdown ritual tells my brain that work is finished for today.
And this is psychologically very important. If you do not have a clear end to your workday, your brain stays in work mode even when you are resting. You lie in bed and you are still thinking about your to-do list. You're still mentally working, and this prevents deep, restorative sleep.
So a shutdown ritual might look like this. At a specific time, maybe 7 o'clock, you write down the 3 most important things you want to do tomorrow. Just 3. This act of writing them down tells your brain you do not need to keep remembering them. They are safe on paper.
Yes, this simple habit of writing your next day priorities reduces what scientists call cognitive load. Cognitive load means the amount of mental effort your brain is using. When you write things down, your brain can relax because it doesn't need to hold on to those thoughts anymore.
Then, after writing tomorrow's priorities, you close your computer, you put your phone in another room or on silent, and you do something that calms your nervous system. This could be reading a book, taking a warm shower, gentle stretching, meditation, or having a calm conversation with someone you love.
And the goal of the evening wind down is to lower your arousal level. Arousal is your level of mental and physical activation. When your arousal is high, you are alert, excited, or stressed. When it is low, you are calm, relaxed, and ready for sleep.
In the evening, you want low arousal. You want your brain and body to slowly, gently shift into sleep mode. And the enemy of this process is bright screens, exciting content, stressful news, or difficult conversations late at night.
So protect your final hour before sleep. Make it calm, dark, and quiet. Your future self, the person who wakes up tomorrow morning full of energy, will be so grateful.
And there's something beautiful about this. When you have a good evening and a good sleep, you wake up the next morning already ahead. You wake up with energy, with clarity, with a sense of purpose, and this is when you really feel the power of the Power Day.
Because the Power Day is a cycle. A good morning creates a productive day. A productive day creates a satisfying day. A calming evening creates a restorative sleep. And a restorative sleep creates a powerful morning. It feeds itself.
It's like compound interest. In finance, compound interest means your money grows and the growth creates more growth. A Power Day works the same way. Your good habits create more good habits. Your energy creates more energy. Your momentum builds and builds.
And this is why we say the Power Day is not about one perfect day. It's about building a pattern, a lifestyle. You don't need to do everything perfectly from the very first day. You just need to start. You take one small step, and then another, and then another.
I want to say something to anyone who is listening right now and feeling a little bit overwhelmed. You do not have to change your entire life today. Pick one thing from our conversation today, just one. Maybe it is no phone for the first 30 minutes of the morning, or maybe it is a 10-minute walk in the afternoon, or maybe it is writing your 3 priorities before bed tonight.
Start with one thing. Do it for 1 week, notice how it makes you feel, and then add another thing. This is how real, lasting change happens, not in one dramatic moment, but in small, consistent steps.
Small steps with big intention. That is the Power Day philosophy.
And I want to bring our English learners back to the language for a moment. Let us do a quick review of some of the beautiful vocabulary we used today. Abel, can you give us a few of your favorites?
Of course. So we talked about momentum, which is the energy of movement that carries you forward. We talked about peak performance, which is when you are at your absolute best. We talked about a flow state, which is when you are completely absorbed in a task and everything feels natural. We talked about intention, which is your purpose and your plan. And we talked about restoration, which is the process of renewing your energy.
And we also talked about distraction, which is anything that pulls your attention away. We talked about cognitive load, which is the mental effort your brain is carrying. We talked about consistency, which means doing something regularly over time. And we talked about arousal, which in this context means your level of mental and physical activation.
These are all words that you can use in real English conversations. You can use them when talking about your work, your studies, your health, and your goals. And the more you hear them and use them, the more natural they will feel.
And we encourage you to practice using these words today. After you finish listening to this podcast, try to write 3 sentences using words from today. For example, you could write something like, I want to protect my peak performance time in the morning, or taking a short walk helps me restore my energy in the afternoon.
These small writing exercises are part of your English Power Hour. They help your brain connect the new vocabulary to real meaning, to real experience, and that is how words move from your passive vocabulary, words you understand, to your active vocabulary, words you can use.
Passive vocabulary to active vocabulary. This is a very important concept in language learning, and the key to activating vocabulary is using it in context, in sentences that feel real and personal to you.
So write about your own Power Day. Use the English words we taught you today. Describe your morning, your peak time, your rest time, your English Power Hour, and your evening wind down. And if you share it in the comments below, Anna and I will read every single one.
We absolutely will. We love reading your comments and seeing your progress. And now, dear listener, we want to give you one final powerful thought to close today's episode.
The year 2026 is happening right now. Every day that passes is a day you will never get back. And that is not a sad thought, it is an important thought, because it means that every day is an opportunity. Every morning is a fresh start. Every sunrise is an invitation to build a power day.
And you do not need special equipment, a lot of money, or perfect conditions to have a power day. You just need awareness and intention. Awareness of your energy levels, intention in how you use your time. These two things, together, will transform your days.
And when your days are transformed, your weeks are transformed. When your weeks are transformed, 1 year from now, you will look back and you will not believe how far you have come in your English, in your work, in your life.
So here's your call to action for today. We want you to design your own power day. Take out a piece of paper or open a notes app on your phone and write down the answers to these simple questions. What time will I wake up and get some sunlight? When is my peak energy time? What is my most important task to do during that time? When will I take a short rest or walk? When will I do my English power hour? And what time will I do my evening wind down?
These 6 questions will give you the structure of your very own power day, your personalized, custom-designed power day for 2026. And remember, it does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be intentional.
Intentional. There's that beautiful word again. Be intentional with your time, be intentional with your energy, and be intentional with your English.
And speaking of being intentional with your English, thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with us today. Listening to this podcast is itself part of your English Power Hour. You're building your listening skills, your vocabulary, and your understanding of natural English conversation.
We are so proud of you for being here. Language learning is not always easy, but you keep showing up. You keep listening, you keep trying. And that consistency, that beautiful consistency, is what will take you all the way to fluency.
We believe in you. We really do. And every single episode we make it for you, to help you grow, to help you learn, and to help you feel confident and capable in English.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please give it a like, share it with a friend who is learning English, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't so already. Your support helps us continue making this content and reaching more English learners around the world.
And leave us a comment below. Tell us, what time of day do you feel most powerful? Are you a morning person, an afternoon person, or do you feel your best energy at night? Tell us in English. Practice using today's vocabulary in your comment. We are waiting to read it.
And remember, every comment you write in English is practice. Every sentence you type is a step forward. Don't be shy. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just write. Just speak. Just try.
The Power Day starts right now. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, not on the first day of next month. Right now. Your next moment is your fresh start.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the English Journey. We are Anna.
And I'm Abel.
And we will see you in the next episode. Until then, be intentional, build your momentum, protect your energy, and have the most powerful day you have ever had. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye for now. Keep going. You are doing amazingly well.